Hey, welcome everybody. My name is Mark Dannenberg. I'm here representing Options Moneymaker and New Cycle Trading and Analytics. And what I want to share with you in this presentation is a whole idea about creating your personal trading business plan. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I want to thank you for listening. I will respect your time. I'm grateful that you're here, but I do want to share with you something that I think you might be kind of excited about. So if you're familiar with trading at all, trading options, stocks, or futures is an activity that has grown significantly in the past few years. Now, according to the Options Clearing Corporation, 28 million options contracts have changed hands on an average day. So that's 28 million options contracts a day in 2020. And now that was as of June 22nd. But the startling thing to me was that's an increase of 45% over last year. Futures trading. According to the Futures Industry Association, there have been 6.42 billion contracts that have been traded just in the first quarter of 2020. That's also up 45.8% from the same quarter in 2019. Comprising a large percentage of that total activity is in equity index futures and options. So the primary indexes like the S&P 500, the cash index, as well as the futures, the NASDAQ 100, the cash index, as well as the futures, the Russell 2000, they had the greatest growth of all of the categories, trading more than 4.5 billion contracts in quarter one. Now, there are some obvious, surface level reasons for this. We have gone through an unprecedented experience in our lives, in our economy, and people are looking for a way to fill the gap. They're looking for a way to fill their time. They're looking for a way to fill their income gap. We've been doing this here, myself and my team, we've been doing this for a long time, many, many years, 15 years. We've been involved in helping traders really learn how to effectively take a profit and earn an income over a 12-month period from the markets. I've been trading for over 35 years, so I want to share with you some of the things that we've learned over that period of time. The opportunity for traders, and both new and experienced. If you've never ever traded before, you happen to be listening to this, don't be disheartened. We can help you learn. If you have an extensive amount of experience and you're just not finding the right level of performance and satisfaction, we can help you do that. So the opportunity for new traders as well as experienced to participate in both the options and or futures trading arena has really never been better. The activity is enormous. The problem that we're observing is, and there have been articles in the Wall Street Journal, there have been articles in lots of financial publications talking about how too many people are jumping in with no knowledge at all. There are actually new brokerage firms that are making it quite easy to get involved without really understanding at all what you're doing. So they jump in with no knowledge, little or no data. They don't really have any data to base any of their assumptions and decisions on. And then, of course, more recently, because of the availability of being able to just chat throughout the internet and chat forums that crop up, it's kind of the Wild West of trading. Chat forums encourage people to do things that they have no idea what they're doing. So we've taken this opportunity for both new and experienced traders in options or futures trading and turn it into kind of the Wild West trading. And I just don't think that that's necessary. And I want to help anyone who's interested learn how to do it the right way and do it with confidence and consistency. It is imperative that you have the right tools. It's imperative that you have the right education, imperative that you have the right services, and more importantly, it's imperative that you have the right mindset in order to participate successfully. So the very first thing I want to share with you here, and I'm going to share with you several things that I hope will pique your interest, but we view all trading activity as a business. The minute someone comes to us and says, I want to trade, well, then we deem them as being their own small business. They are a small business. They have profits, they have expenses, they have some losses, they have a variety of things that they need to do in order to be successful at their business, just like any small business owner would. With this mindset, we help people create a small personal trading business plan. So you can think of yourself as a business owner, and the moment you shift your thought to being a business owner, instead of just I'm dabbling in the market or I'm gambling in the market or I hope this wins, it's an entirely different approach to the way you trade. And we want to help you trade so that you can build a successful personal trading business. So Options Moneymaker and New Cycle Trading and Analytics, we've collaborated together to develop the tools that we believe are going to be the key success factors to building a profitable trading business. You can build a profitable trading business. And if recently in this whole experience that we're going through here in 2020, you've experienced some hardship, you've experienced some setbacks, you've experienced some uncertainty, think of this as perhaps creating a whole new path for yourself to master your own management of income. So the key success factors that I'm going to talk about with you for building a profitable trading business are, first of all, market metrics and technical indicators. The markets always operate in a technical pattern. We are amazed still to this day within my team, we've been together for many, many years, at how there's news that is deemed to have been the mover of a market, a stock, or the overall market. And we can go back and we can look at technical patterns that told us that move was likely to happen. So we spend a lot of time on technical indicators, and I'm going to show you a set of technical indicators here that, in my opinion, after 35 years of doing this, is hands down the best set of technical indicators any trader should ever want to have. Education is very important on what to trade and how to trade it. And then financial planning and forecasting, and this is where I'm going to spend some time in this session too. Your ability to plan your daily and weekly profit goals, to forecast how and when to scale the amount of capital you're going to put into trades in order to accelerate your growth and do it in a confident and secure and minimum of risk method. And also to be able to know what a reasonable income is for 12 months. Far too many traders that I meet, they're just trading day in and day out. They really don't have any point of reference as to how they've been performing, whether or not they have any expectation of earning an income over 12 months. It really, for them, is more of a replacement for being in Vegas or being in Atlantic City. When you own a small business, you invest some time in financial planning. We have a very, very simple approach to doing financial planning and forecasting for traders. And I'm going to show you how you can easily see on every single day at the close of the market what your potential income is for a 12-month period. And then I think real-time support for ongoing learning and just kind of supporting your whole effort as a small business owner is important. So those are the keys that I'm going to discuss with you. So market metrics. We have a system called the adaptive entry system. It is the next generation of market metrics and market analytics from New Cycle Trading and Analytics. So you can check them out at their website, newcycletrading.com. But the adaptive entry system uses a very simple, I would even say an ultra simple systems approach to tracking price movement. Price movement can be predictable. Price movement can be predictable simply because we know what historical patterns there are and how those patterns drive the movement of price activity. This empowers traders to follow that natural sequence of price cycles. There are always going to be wave patterns within any price movement. The market or a stock price or the futures never go straight up and it never goes straight down. And what we want to do is to help you, empower you to recognize when this period of time that you're looking at there's a high probability of moving higher, and the next period of time, there's a probability of it moving lower. And there are multiple cycles within each total sequence of price cycles. There are 4 distinct entry signals within the adaptive entry system. They follow the trend. There is generally an overall riding trend. They follow retracements. Within that trend, there are always going to be pullbacks and movements that are counter trend movements, but they don't signal the end to the trend. And then there are signals which indicate continuation of price patterns. Those 4 primary entry signals that we have built into the adaptive entry system are the trend bias plus, that's the primary trend, the momentum signal, which identifies retracement within a primary trend, consensus signals, which shows an alignment of multiple directional indicators all in the background of the adaptive entry system, and continuation signals, which indicates that there might have been some short-term retracement as evidenced by a momentum signal, but now the price appears to be resuming and continuing the primary trend. So signals that we're talking about, and I'm going to share with you here in just a moment, can be used to enter options positions. They can be used to trade futures, and they can also be used for stock trades. It's a very versatile system. It is adaptive to most any underlying asset that you want to trade. It's also adaptable to multiple time frames. We have people in our community who literally trade 1-minute charts, very active traders on futures, and we have people in our community who pay mostly attention to daily signals because they're bigger stock traders or they're taking options positions on those stocks. So let me show you an example of the adaptive entry system. So what I'm showing you here are futures charts. Okay, we do a fair amount of futures trading in our live trading room. This is the S&P 500 futures, a 5-minute chart. In the middle, we have the NASDAQ 100 futures, a 5-minute chart. And on the right, we have the Russell 2000 futures, 5-minute chart. Now, we're not limited to just futures, as I mentioned. We also could trade any one of a number of stocks, and you could trade the stock directly, or you could trade options on those stocks. In this example, I'm showing you a chart for Amazon, showing a 10-minute, a 30-minute, and a daily chart. You can trade a combination of all of these charts using them to support each other, or you can trade a single time frame. Now I'm going to go back to the futures, and I'm going to highlight the NASDAQ 100 futures. This is where we in our live trading room provide a tremendous amount of education and support as a way to teach our community how to properly interpret the adaptive entry system signals. And I want to show you just really how simple this is. All I want you to do for right now is focus on the upper part of the chart. What you see are green vertical bars and red vertical bars. And each of these green and red vertical bars have a label on it. There's an M label in a green box. There's a C label in a red box. There's a C label in a green box, etc. All right. So what this is our signals, and we have built this system to be as ultra simple as possible. One of the complexities of being a trader is trying to wade through all of the different indicators and all the different things that people are promoting and saying, yeah, this signal is going to be, the holy grail for you. There are multiple signals and multiple people and analysts that will put together different signals and look for alignment between those signals. And it gets to be almost overwhelming. Actually, the process of trading is pretty simple. The difficult part, and sometimes the overwhelming part that knocks people out of the game, is understanding when do I actually get into trade and what signals do I trust. So what we did is we built a system, the adaptive entry system, to very simply give you a single signal that tells you when to take a trade. And behind the scenes, in the background, all the algorithms that translate the alignment between multiple indicators that we have spent years researching for their integrity those are all presented to you in a single signal. So just as an example here, this is a signal on a green highlighted bar with a green box labeled C. And what that means is it is a consensus signal. It means if you're trading futures, you're going to go long. If you're trading options, you would buy a call or construct some other long strategy like a put credit spread or a long debit spread or diagonal or calendar spread. So if you took this signal on this example, NQ was trading at 10,949 and a quarter, and it went up to a high of 11,084. So there's a nearly 90-point move to the upside, and on NQ, each point is worth $20. So that's a significant $1,800 move right there. And remember, these are 5-minute bars that happened from 9:30 a.m. on today's open to 10:10. So we're in that trade for 40 minutes for $1,800 per contract. Now, I'm not saying you're going to catch the tops and bottoms. So being realistic, you wouldn't take that trade all the way up to the top. You might cut yourself off and take a 10-point profit or a 30 or 40-point profit. You might not have the full 80 or 90 points of profit. But the reason you want to have some sort of a set profit target is because these cycles occur all day long when you're trading a 5-minute chart. You're not looking for a big win off of a single trade. Lots and lots of base hits are going to get you what you need. So that's just one example. There is a signal here that is based on, let me widen this a little bit here. It's based on the colored price bars. Red price bars indicate that you will have an opportunity to go short. So when you're trading futures, you're going to go short. When you're trading options, you're going to buy a put, buy to open a put. In this case, when you have a bar that closes red and the next bar opens red, on the open of that second red bar, you go short. And you can see here that the movement took us lower. So whatever your price target was, we help people understand what the price target should be, what a reasonable price target is. That's a nice profit there. Now there's just 2 profits right there, and we had a lot of signals in between. The adaptive entry system is designed to make your trading simple. I'm not suggesting that you put yourself into a trading business and be overwhelmed and have it be overly complex. And that's exactly why the adaptive entry system was created, is so that it will take all of the behind the scenes indicators, like I said, that we believe have a tremendous amount of alignment integrity to them, and present the signal to you to tell you now is the time to enter in the most simplistic manner possible. These vertical lines, you only take a signal within the first 3 seconds of the open of a 5-minute bar. If there is no vertical line, if there is no signal, you wait 5 minutes for the next 5-minute bar. If there's no signal, you wait until a signal comes along. Here's another long consensus signal that would have put you in at 984. And on the next bar, it took you up to 11,004. There's a 20-point move. That's a $400 move on one contract on the NASDAQ 100. Now, I'm profiling here the NASDAQ 100. You can do exactly the same thing on the S&P 500, and you can see all of these patterns right here on the S&P 500. The signals are presenting themselves to go long. Signals are presenting themselves to go short. Actually, I want to turn on that trend bias signal. There's there we go, trend entries right there. So now we have that signal identified right there for a short trend bias trade. So this is all you really have to do in order to have the proper market metrics to be able to get into these trades, is just simply follow a system such as the adaptive entry system. Now let's just jump over to a couple of stocks here. If I was not a futures trader, and we do a lot of futures trading in our live trading room, we do more futures trading than we do options trading, but the methods that we use apply equally as well to options trading. If I was an options trader, because it takes a little bit more to set up the options trade and kind of negotiate the order between the bid and the ask and working off of the mark or the midpoint between the bid and the ask, I would use a longer time frame. I would use a 10-minute or a 30-minute chart if I am a day trader. If I'm a day trader, I'm focusing on 10 or 30-minute charts. Here's a 10-minute chart on Amazon. It's got to load back that history, but here's a 10-minute chart on Amazon. Let me just see if that'll load back. Oh, there we go. Oh, all right. Well, let's go to 30-minute. Okay, let me try a different chart here. Hold on just a second. That's very unusual, but it's outside of regular market hours. Let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla's been kind of a wild stock for everybody, and there have been a lot of people who just believe Tesla's going to continue to go higher and higher and higher. We've heard all that noise. We've read all the comments in chat rooms and all the forums where people who don't really understand anything about technical patterns or even what being the most shorted stock on the planet means, there are technical signals that help us understand when we ought to be buying a put on Tesla versus buying a call. And the same signals hold true. Whether you're looking at a stock on a 10-minute chart, whether you're looking at a stock on a daily chart, whether you're looking at a futures contract on a 1-minute, 3-minute, or 5-minute chart, the signals are all the same. You just have to follow the simplicity of the signals. Here's a great example right here. At 12:50 on September 15th, Tesla had a trend bias signal to go long. It meant that the underlying algorithms were interpreting that there's going to be a push to the upside in Tesla. And here Tesla, this is post-split, Tesla went from 443 up to a high of 461. That's a pretty decent move right there in a short period of time. And then we have a short indication as a short momentum signal. This momentum signal came on as a counter trend signal. So this might be a pullback within the trend. This is a short trend, signal for us to go short, buy a put, because it is a red highlighted bar. And look at what that signal did. That actually caught the very top of that entire move up. And so there, Tesla went from 461.82 down to a low of 448. Just in that period of time, that's some pretty powerful profit. And it depends on how many contracts you're trading, depends on what delta you're using. If you're trading a 50 delta, you can assume that 50% of that move is profit in your pocket. And of course, that's multiplied times the shares that are represented by the number of contracts you're trading. Let's take a look at just a couple of others. Let's take a look at Google. Google's been an interesting play here, and we're on a 10-minute chart here again. When you take a step back and you understand the adaptive entry system, you start to realize how easy it is to spot these. And not just in hindsight. You see the second red bar telling you that Google is likely going lower, second red bar, and that's exactly what it did. You see the second blue bar and tells you it's going higher. There was a small move higher here, but enough for you to harvest your profit if you have your profit target set properly. Here's another red bar. It tells you that Google's ready to go lower, and in this case, you had a home run on this. You get in at 1532 towards the end of the day on the 16th, and on the 17th this morning, it gaps open down to 1495 at the open, and of course, half of that, if you're trading a 50 delta, is profit to you. And it continued to go. Now you've got some counter trend momentum signals here that are giving you an opportunity to maybe get rid of your put and take a call and then get back into another put as the trend continues to go lower. So my point here is that every trader, to be successful and to build a successful trading business, needs a solid, reliable, consistent set of metrics. And without the metrics, it's more of a crapshoot. You're kind of gambling as to when to get into the trade and when to get out of the trade. Now, do we have a lot of winning trades? Absolutely. Do we have losing trades? Absolutely. And this is where I'm going to show you how to, at the end of every day, link your performance to a full 12-month financial forecast. So we're pretty excited about the adaptive entry system. Most of my personal trading is on the NASDAQ 100 futures. That's what we profile consistently in our live trading room. And each 1 point of profit or loss, so each 1 point of movement is equal to $20. And I just want to leave that out there for you to think about, because I'm going to show you how specifically on the NASDAQ 100 futures, how to create a 12-month income for yourself, but you can apply it to any underlying derivative equity that you choose to trade. One last thing before we leave the chart here. If we go to a daily chart, let's go to a daily chart and let's look at Amazon daily. Let's say you don't have time or the capacity or interest to be a day trader, but you would like to participate in some of the bigger moves that happen, but you just need to know when to get in and when to get out. And perhaps you're an options trader that wants to do that. Or perhaps you're a stock investor. You want to get into good stocks, but you're not really interested in just holding for the long term. You'd like to get into the stock and take the stock off at the right time to lock in your profit and then wait for another opportunity to get in. Well, the adaptive entry system, just like it is ideal for trading futures on 1, 3, or 5-minute charts, it's ideal also for stock investors or longer-term options traders. The same signals hold true. Notice how I've moved from futures to on 5-minute charts to options on 10 and 30-minute charts to stocks now on daily charts, but all of the 4 signals are still there. A long vertical green bar says you ought to be long on the stock. A short vertical bar means you ought to be, a red vertical bar means you ought to be short on the stock, or maybe take your stock position off and then wait for another green bar highlighting when you should get back in. You can follow along this period of time, whatever period of time you choose. I can scrunch this back together and you can see the patterns of the declining red bars, which are all of your short trending patterns, highlighted by a second red bar or a red vertical bar telling you to go short. Then you see the long running patterns of blue bars that are highlighted by long green vertical bars. It's just an ultra simple system. We have people in our live trading room throughout the day that are telling us how much they took in profits that day, and they've decided to stop trading for the day, and they're going to go play golf, they're going to go cut the grass, they're going to go take a nap, they're going to go do whatever they choose to do. And I'm about ready to transition here and show you how they know when enough is enough. One of the challenges I believe we have with trading is, when do we stop trading? When is enough enough in terms of profit? If it's just kind of open-ended and never quite defined in terms of how much we want to make, then we really never know if we are being successful. Because as I said, most traders that I have encountered do not have any method to go back and look at what their performance is on a day-to-day basis or project out to the future what their income could potentially be. Remember, I want to help you transition from being a trader, kind of a freelance, anything goes trader, to building a solid, consistently profitable trading business and view it as a business. Okay, so now Before I get into the forecast, I just want to comment, education is extremely important. I'm not going to get into a lot of this. I just say education is extremely important. We offer, in addition to the market metrics and how to build a trading business, we will teach you how to trade options. We have a very in-depth options education program. You'll learn the basics of charting, basics of options, as well as credit spreads, iron condors, vertical spreads, strangles, and long options. You'll also learn a lot about capital management and risk management. We also have a futures trading education course. The futures market, I just love the futures market. And I've been an options and futures trader for many, many years. I kind of gravitate a little bit more to the futures right now, but part of that's because the futures market is a $12.7 trillion market. $12.7 trillion market. There is so much opportunity, but it can be intimidating. And a lot of people have the misconception that it is just too risky and you can lose everything in the futures market. Well, we want to help you understand how to take that confusing and intimidating topic and simplify it into a comprehensive approach to profitably trading futures. We talk about technical charting specifically around the adaptive entry system that I just showed you. We talk about capital management, risk limitation rules, and we also talk how to automate your trade entry, where you can literally enter a trade, set a risk limit, and place a profit exit all with one single click. But I would prefer to talk to you about financial planning and forecasting, because I think the two biggest keys and the two biggest missing components for most traders is the market metrics and the financial planning for your personal trading plan. So I'm going to share with you a tool here, and we're going to get into it a little bit, that is allowing you to track your actual performance on your trading. It will also help you plan your capital commitments and risk limits. It's no longer kind of this, I wake up in the morning, I'm feeling really good, I decide I'm going to trade, 10 contracts today because I've done so well with one contract for the last 3 weeks. It's no longer that. It's this planned and methodical approach like any small business would have. If you are doing well and you have a delivery service, you might decide to invest in another vehicle and hiring another driver. But you wouldn't all of a sudden go out and double your fleet and double your staff overnight because you had a good couple of weeks. Trading is exactly the same way, and the same thought process needs to be applied to this. So we want to help you forecast when to scale your capital commitments, and we're going to show you how you can view what your 12-month profit or income forecast is. I spent 26 years leading divisions for a Fortune 500 company, and we lived by the monthly financial forecast. We had to measure whether or not we were on plan for our 12-month projection, and if we weren't, we needed to make adjustments. All I'm doing here is helping you see exactly the same thing for your trading. Adopt an attitude that your trading is a personal trading business. It's a small business, and you'll have a different mindset about how you approach your trading. You're going to choose your own desired level of risk, and you're going to build your plan accordingly. You're going to choose how much starting capital, which, by the way, whether it's options or futures, you don't need a ton of capital to start with. This is what I love about trading, is you really can start with a relatively small amount of capital and you can grow it consistently. I also want to help you understand when to limit your trading. What's the answer to when is enough enough? This eliminates a lot of the tendency for some traders to overtrade. How many times have you, maybe, I know I have, heard a trader say, oh, I was doing so well, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I donated it all back to the market. I gave it all back, and now I'm down for, 4 days, first 4 days of this week. Or I used to hear people in our live trading room say, geez, I was up, X hundreds of dollars this morning, and now I'm down. Well, I want to help you understand a little bit more, first of all, about not only using the adaptive entry system and how to choose better trades, because that's what the AES is going to do, but now also how to interpret your own trading. So let's take a look at what your potential income could be. So what we do with the adaptive entry system trades is throughout the day, we are tracking in real time the performance of every signal. This is not back testing. This is not um, historical look back. This is in real time every day in our live trading room, trading live accounts. And we have our clients in our community that are following along with us. Many of them are taking the trades right along with us. We record every trade. So here's an example for today. This column right here is our profit and loss column. So we won't go into all the detail, but I mean, you can see the time of day. And we actually start recording at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, in fairness, full disclosure, we start live recording at 7 a.m. Anything prior to that is kind of a back look review of the overnight. And we're not intending for anybody to trade from 3 a.m. Eastern on, but we are in the process of working towards some auto trading that will benefit from the data that we're collecting there. But say we're starting to trade at 7 o'clock in the morning, or some people don't start until 9:30 in the morning. Well, here are all of the trades. And in this column is telling us what each of the signals were, whether it was a trend bias entry, a momentum signal, a consensus signal. T plus is what we use for continuation of the trend. So these are all of our signal identifiers. And then this is the points that we achieved on each of those trades. 5 points is $100 per contract. We had 20-point loss. We record every trade, whether it's a win or a loss. And when we have those 20-point losses, or down here we had a 12 and 3/4 point loss, we just resume looking at the chart, waiting for the next signal. We don't judge our trading early in the day. We're looking for what the total outcome is by the end of the day. So if I were to look at my daily summary then, and I look at a couple different categories, let's look at 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now that might be a long time to trade, but there are other categories where you can only trade from 9:30 to noon, or you could trade from 8 to noon, whatever works for your personal schedule. We have a fair number of international clients too who don't necessarily want to trade the normal U.S. market hours, and so these signals work very well in time frames that are outside the regular market session. But let me just kind of highlight 3 categories here, and then these 2 that are shaded in a little darker green are the 2 that we use every single day to show our community of traders what the ongoing forecasted income could be for a 12-month period. So today, if you had traded all of the signals, there are 4 key signals that I talked about on the adaptive entry system. If you traded each of those signals from 7 to 4, there's 77.25 points. So remember, that's $20 a point. So 77.25 times 20 is $1,545 of profit production today, trading just one contract. That's just one contract. So this is presented to you in terms of points, and this is all focused on the NASDAQ 100 futures. We use the NASDAQ 100 futures as a way to show everyone in our community how to effectively use the tools that have been created. And then we have some people who like to trade the S&P 500 futures. We have others who like to trade the Russell 2000 futures. We have a lot of people who like to trade options on our short watch list of stocks like Amazon, Google, Bookings, Tesla, Shopify, Netflix. They'll trade options on those. But the common denominator across all of that, there's 2 primary common denominators. One is the signals act exactly the same way. You're going to look at the same signals. It's not like you shift from a 5-minute NQ chart trading futures to a 30-minute Amazon chart trading options, and you have to relearn it. You don't. It's all based on the exact same underlying fundamental signals. So here, trading 7 to 4, 77.25 points. That's $1,545 trading one contract of futures. Now, by the way, just to put that in perspective, at the broker that we use to trade futures, that one contract, in order to open that, is $500 a margin. So there's a tremendous amount of leverage, but we teach you how to control your risk. But you have $500 committed to that trade, and we traded actually 22 positions today and managed to deliver $1,545 of profits, gross profit on one contract, 86% win rate today. And you can scale back through here and you can see all of the different win rates. You know, we have lower win rates on some days at 58% where we basically broke even. We had one day back here, we had a 52% win rate. We lost 85 points. And that's a day that would devastate a lot of traders. They would just not put it into perspective. They would think, oh, I lost, and look at, I gave back, you know, all of the prior 2 days, and they would have completely forgotten about everything prior to that. So what we really encourage is don't hang your hat on any one day, whether it's a really strong positive day or it is a unfortunate losing day that makes you feel bad. Do not do that. I'm going to shift gears here in a minute. I want to show you the trading plan where you can plug your performance in each day and allow that to tell you what your overall performance would be after a 12-month period, taking into account the average run rate of all of the days included in your performance. The average run rate is so much more important than a single day. All right, so I like today, that's awesome. Now, in a different category, same time frame, 7 to 4, we also track, well, what if you don't want to spend the time taking every single signal? Sometimes that can get a little busy. There's 4 signals, that doesn't sound like a lot, but sometimes that can get a little busy. And perhaps you are someone like a lot of our community who owns a business and you're trading kind of on the side in the background, or you have a job, but you have the flexibility to also keep your laptop open and you can take trades. So you can reduce the amount of activity by taking only the trend bias trades. Those are the signals that come on when it's a second blue bar to go long or a second red bar that indicates the formation of a new trend. 7 to 4, taking only the trend bias signals and the continuation signals. So everything that basically aligns with the trend. Today would have given you 32.25 points. Now remember, that's $20 a point, so 32.25 at $20 a point is $645 trading one contract. You had 11 trades. That's about $4 of commission per trade. So take $44 off of that, and you net yourself about $600 for the day trading one contract. But I'm going to show you how to scale and not do anything different other than have a few more contracts when your account is ready for that. And the other category that we track is for those people who they don't want to trade from 7 a.m. Eastern. They start when the regular market session opens and they only want to trade in the morning. They want to trade from 9:30 a.m. Eastern to 12 p.m. and not be trading in the afternoon. This is an ideal time frame for someone who is multitasking with a business or multitasking with a job and they're trading kind of in the background. So here we had 55 points today. That's really strong. That's really strong. That's $1,100, $1,100 of profit today trading one contract, and that was on 8 trades. We had a 100% win rate today. Actually, we had a 100% win rate yesterday. I was really clear in our live trading with the community. Listen, we don't frequently have 100% win rate days, but yesterday we did. Today we did. Back here we had a 100% win rate. We have other days that we only had a 50% win rate here. We had a 55% win rate here. Bottom line, folks, is it doesn't matter to me. If I am confident in the adaptive entry system signals, if I'm confident that overall it's going to produce a profit and income for me, then I need to check my emotions at the door when I come into my office. And I need to just take the trades, do the right thing, be a robot, and follow the signals. So we have a lot of data on the averages that these different categories produce. So the 3 categories that I just pointed out to you, the 9:30 to noon, that actually averages about 435 a day, $435 a day on one contract. Now, this is based on 68 trading days. And the reason it's 68 trading days is we've got a ton of data prior to 68 days, but it was 68 days ago that we rolled out to our live trading room the adaptive entry system. And that's when we started to show in real time the trade by trade, tick by tick tracking. And we show this every single day. And at the end of the day in our live trading room, I actually do a summary, a recorded summary that anybody can listen to and follow along and track our performance. This is not smoke and mirrors, folks. I like to describe this as simply science and math. It's the science of understanding that markets move in certain patterns, and we have created a system that identifies when those movements are likely to occur. It's not 100% accurate, as you see, but the overall result is such that we can produce an overall average positive outcome, even though we have losing trades embedded in there. So look at this category. In the 68 trading days, so that's 3.5 months, about 20 days per month, 68 trading days, averaging $435.44 a day, we have a 76.2% win rate on a per trade basis. We've had 15 losing days. Again, this is the math side of the science and math. The math is just simply, well, let's track the data. Let's see how the numbers hold up. I get a lot of people that initially, when they're introduced to the system, will argue with me and say, well, yeah, but you're going to have X number of losses and you're going to have, not enough trades to win to make up for that. I don't participate in any of those discussions. I don't argue with those people. I teach them. That's all I want to do. I want to share data with you, just like I do every day in our live trading room. I want to share data with you, and you can self-select and decide whether or not this whole system of building a personal trading business for yourself is right for you. The other two categories, that 7 to 4 category, where we're looking for only the trend bias signals and the continuation signals, so not the other two signals that the adaptive entry system presents. We've only had 7 losing days in 68 days, and we're averaging on one contract $663.97 a day. $663.97 a day. $663.97 times 20 trading days in a month. That's a $13,000 a month income, potentially, from just taking those two signals every day. $13,000 a month income and taking only one contract. The bigger category, and actually the optimum producing category, the number one producing category, is the 7 to 4, same time frame, but taking all the signals, 7 to 4. In 68 trading days, we're averaging $1,389.19 a day. That is the average. I don't care how many losses there have been, although there have only been 5 losing days. I don't really care the size of the losses, because I know I'm going to have winning days and I'm going to have losing days. I know I'm going to have winning trades. I know I'm going to have losing trades. Bottom line is, if you track the data, which is all part of the science, if you plug it into the personal trading plan, which I'm getting ready to show you, you are going to be able to level set your attitude about your trading and see exactly how effective this could be for your own personal trading, for your own personal trading business. And the last thing I'll share with you here is we've stack ranked performance of negative days, I say points, but it's profit production, and then the win-loss ratio ranking. And then we add up the rankings, and the lowest number is what we consider to be the optimum performing category. And that is clearly the 7 to 4 all signals on the adaptive entry system. 5 losing days out of 68 days, and producing just under $1,400 a day. Now, of course, there's other categories. You could trade from 8 to noon. You could trade from 9:30 to noon. It just depends on what works for you. We're not guiding anyone to a particular individual laser-focused solution. What we are guiding you to is a full understanding of the power of the adaptive entry system, and then doing your own personal financial forecast. So now let's shift gears and jump over to the financial forecast. Okay, so this is what we call our personal trading plan. You put your name right here. This is a trading plan for whoever you are. You put your name in, right? This is you right here, okay? These numbers up here represent the average profit per day and the average loss. So let me say that a little differently. On our winning days, we are averaging 34.96 points per day. Points, remember, times $20. So that's almost $700 a day. That's what we're averaging. It doesn't matter whether we've lost on the trade or won on a trade. I mean, it does, but in the bigger scheme of things, all that really matters is, well, what's my average? What's my point production on a daily basis? And remember, I'm showing you this as an example using the NASDAQ 100 futures. So on my winning days, I'm averaging just under 35 points. On my losing days, I'm averaging about 22.64 points of loss on those losing days. The financial forecast, the personal trading plan, which you should use for your trading business, assumes for a 12-month, 52-week forecast that you're going to lose on an average of 1 day out of every 5 trading days. Listen, we're going to be realistic about this. If you have a small business and everything's going smoothly, and like I said, you have a delivery business, and then you have a vehicle that gets in an accident, and then you've got an insurance claim, and you've got maybe you have a driver who was injured, and there's going to be some loss and expense associated with that. Let's be realistic if we're going to treat this as a business, and let's understand that not only are we going to have losing trades, but we're going to have losing days. And all that should matter to you is what's the average of those losing days. All right, so then what we do is we come down here. Oh, by the way, we keep track of, we're 10.6 weeks into our tracking since we rolled this out to our live trading room. And we have had 10 losing days. So we are right on pace. We're averaging right at about 1 losing day per week. So we're right on pace in terms of the frequency of losses. So now it's just math, folks. We talked about the science of the metrics. Now it's just math. It's not pie in the sky. It's not, hey, you'll never be able to do that. Let me explain to you why it's just math. Once I know what my averages are, in these fields right here, I'm just simply going to say, I already have almost 11 weeks behind me. So that means I have another 13 weeks to go. I have another, am I doing that right? 11, 13. We have just over 10 weeks behind us. We've got 42 weeks to go, okay? What am I going to assume in terms of my performance going forward for the remaining 42 weeks that I've got in a 12-month period? I'm going to assume that my run rate is going to stay the same. So this is calculating what my actual run rate is. This is my forecast. And so I plug that in. Everything that's highlighted in blue is already done. Those days are already closed. Those losses are realized. Those gains are realized. Nothing's going to change that. But going forward, I want to know what my forecast will look like if I were to continue at the same run rate. I go back here, folks, and I look at this and I go, oh my God, I was so brokenhearted on that day. I mean, it felt so bad. I lost 42.5 points. Oh my God, I had my biggest losing day just last week, 58.65 points. That didn't feel very good. These are the types of internal conversations traders have with themselves. So what I do is I come to my trading plan and I plug in the loss of 58.65 points for the day. And I take a look at what my averages are. I adjust my averages as necessary for my future forecast, and I see what my projected income is. So now let me tell you the other part of this that is just really awesome. That is so simple, and that is a 5-minute investment, even less, but a 5-minute investment of your time at the close of every trading day, so that every single day you have a reasonable expectation of what your income is going to be over a 12-month period, just like any other small business owner would have. But here's what's really cool. We started this with $5,000. You don't need more than that to start with futures. You don't need more than that really to start with options unless you're going to be an active day trader, and then there's all sorts of rules around that. But I'm going to stay focused on futures for right now. We start with $5,000. We instructed our program. This program's very, very simple, by the way. We can make this available to you. This is super, ultra simple. We instructed the program to say, I know that each one contract requires $500 of margin. How many contracts should I be trading? I'm not going to trade more than 10% of the balance of my account. So we start with 10%, which means on the first day, I can only trade one contract, because 10% of $5,000 is $500 that allows me to trade one contract. As the account grows, because the margin that is required is capped at no more than 10% of the balance of the account. When I get up to $10,000, I can trade 2 contracts. When I get up to $15,000, I can trade 3 contracts. And I can just let this grow infinitely if I choose to. And it will continue to increase the number of contracts that I trade. But it is a thoughtful, programmed, non-emotional approach to increasing the scale, or scaling the size of your capital commitment to your trading to increase your potential income. Instead of the emotional haphazard, I did 1 contract all last week and I did well, so this week I decided to trade 5 contracts. That is a recipe for disaster. This right here, if the first day that I traded 3 contracts, I had a loss, and it put me back under $15,000, I'd be back to trading 2 contracts. This is just a prescription for your trading business. All you have to do every day is look at it and go, okay, I'm trading 3 contracts today because that's where my trading plan has guided me. All right, now here's the other cool thing. This number is just a mathematical calculation. It will just continue to increase as the account grows. And so right here, you can cap it at a maximum number of contracts. I have it right now for demonstration purposes capped it at no more than 3 contracts, which means at no point in time, regardless of the size of the account, will the program, the personal trading plan program, ever offer me a suggestion of trading more than 3 contracts. So I have it capped at 3 contracts. Capped at 3 contracts, recycling the same capital every day, following the program of the adaptive entry system, averaging, because I know that my actual performance is averaging just under 35 points a day on winning days and 22.64 points on losing days. I know that I'm right on plan with the number of losing days compared to where we are in terms of 10.5 weeks. My $5,000 starting balance grows to $358,640 over the course of 12 months. That is a 12-month forecast. If you follow the same run rate that you have already established. Now, I'm feeling pretty confident that through the first 10.5 weeks, I'm averaging almost 35 points, and my forecast is based on 35 points. Well, let me tell you something. If all of a sudden something changed, and over the next few weeks, I stumbled a little bit more, and what if my average on profitable days dropped to 25 points? Well, then I have to be realistic in my forecast, and I have to change my future forecast to 25 points on my winning days. But this program makes it super easy to do. And then my income is only $259,000 projected, because it's taking into account everything that's already behind us, and forecasting the remainder of the 52 weeks, the 12 months, based on the current run rate. So that's why this is so critical. I'm going to put this back to 34.96 because that's what I think is realistic. But here's the other cool thing. If for some reason you felt that that's not enough, going from 5,000 to 358,000, which by the way, I don't guarantee that this is going to happen for you. It's all going to be based on your interpretation of the adaptive entry system signals, your performance trading those signals, what times a day you're going to perform, what signals you're going to take. We can help you with all that, but it's all going to be based on what your actual run rate is. If your actual run rate happened to be 15 points, and sorry, let's go here. If your run rate happened to be 15 points, well, then your run rate needs to be forecasted at 15 points, but then your projected income is 159,000. You still started with $5,000. All right, so let's put that back, and now I want to show you the other thing. You know that your capital commitment for margin is capped at no more than 10% of the balance of your account. We have this capped at 3 contracts. If you want to be ultra conservative and you never wanted to trade more than 2 contracts, well, you can trade 2 contracts and it still tells you what your 12-month income could be. If you decide you want to trade 5 contracts, because you still know that you'll never get to 5 contracts until there is until there's enough capital in the account where that 5 contracts times $500 of margin per contract, $2,500. $2,500 is 10% of 25,000. You'd have to have $25,000 in the account to trade 5 contracts. But you are in control as a business owner. If you are intelligent and honest about your run rate forecast, you can put whatever the number of contracts you want in here, whatever you're comfortable with, and you can influence the outcome for your income. I think that 3 contracts is a very reasonable max, and we're using this in our live trading room. I have some people in our community that they very confidently and comfortably will trade 10 contracts max, not a thought about it. And you're talking about then a potential 7-figure income. Whatever the income is, it's going to be based on your performance. You need to learn, you need to devote the time, you need to set aside your emotions, you need to treat it like a business. It is a business, and it simply boils down to science and math. I see a few questions out here, and I'm going to get to those here at the end, but I haven't plugged in today yet. I'm going to go ahead and plug in today. I'm going to do this in real time here, show you what we did today. So we did 32.25 points times $20 a point, $645, and you can see that we're at 3 contracts, so times 3. So we're going to go over to our data entry field. So that's $1,935 today, and we did 11 trades at 3 contracts per trade, so that's 33 contracts. So now, this is exactly the process we go through at the end of every day. So now our actual winning day average just dropped slightly, 34.84. The losing day average stays the same because we didn't have another losing day. So I'm going to change this to 34.84. And now that's my projected income for 12 months. Okay, so let's jump back here and just say the one other thing that I think is very important for any trading business is most small business owners, they, if they're a franchise owner, they're paying fees to attend training and really learn how to grow their business, how to market their business, how to build their business, how to build the production line. They might hire a small business consultant. They might do all sorts of things. I think real-time support is very important in trading. We provide that in a live trading room environment. We open at 8:45 a.m. Eastern and we close between 3:30 and 4 Eastern every day. And we are calling out the adaptive entry system signals every day, and we're helping people understand through ongoing education in real time. And we're taking these trades in the live trading room. So in the live trading room, we get to follow along with my team of experienced traders. There are 3 of us primarily that are either all together, all three of us are there in the room, or at least one or two of us are there in the room, helping people identify the signals and trade. So we trade the adaptive entry signals live every day. And what you can do in the live trading room is you can follow along as we build our personal trading plan, which I just shared with you. So you get a lot of support from a community of like-minded, profit-focused traders. So it really boils down to education, performance tracking, and live trading. So that's the end of my presentation. I would love to discuss more with you, love to take some of your questions, which I will do here in just a minute, but I want to leave you with this offer. Now, at this point in a lot of presentations, I've been to a lot myself, I'm sure you've been to a lot, there's generally somebody who's saying, hey, you know, if here's the price, here's how you can get involved. I don't really want your money right now. I really want you to learn more about building a personal trading business plan. So my offer to you is this. I'd like to invite you, I'm extending an invitation to you to come join our live trading room free. So it's free for a week, and you get to see firsthand how we help our community of traders build a steady income from trading. You're going to see us go through the adaptive entry system signals. We do a pre-market analysis the first 15 to 20 minutes where we're focused on our watch list of stocks and potential options trades on those stocks. And then throughout the day, we are focused mostly on NASDAQ 100 futures, but if you have questions about other futures or other stocks, we're there ready and able to help you understand. So if that's something that interests you, you can go to optionsmoneymaker.com/investor. And I'm just gonna, this is the page that you're gonna come to, okay? It's very, very simple. It's optionsmoneymaker.com/investor. And it's just a simple, you know, there's no obligation offer. Come and join our live trading room free. So, you know, there's me, there's Aaron, there's Michael. We're the three that host the room. All you have to do is click right here to register for one. There's no obligation. Just register for one free week in the live trading room. You're going to get to observe how the adaptive entry system works in real time as we trade live. You can ask questions and trade right along with our team. Heck, you might make some money if you're trading, if you're an experienced trader, if you know what you're doing. You might make some money. We do always encourage every trader who comes into our environment who might not be familiar with our signals and what we're doing to trade in a simulated, so in futures it's a sim platform, or in options it's a paper trading platform, but you just spend a little bit of time getting used to it. And then you can watch at the end of the day how we translate real-time trading performance into that 12-month forecast, which I just showed you. The second thing that you can do is you can listen to the daily updates if you want to. At the end of most every market day, I do a short 10 to 15 minute recording summarizing the day's performance, a little abbreviated version of what I just did for you when I logged in today's performance, and show you on a daily basis how the 12-month forecast, income forecast, is evolving and how it's changing. And you can listen to any number of those. The adaptive entry system is producing an average of about $600 a day per contract. And as I just showed you, starting with $5,000, we've got a 12-month income forecast of just over $350,000. Am I going to guarantee that that's going to be the final number? No, we might have some weaker performance in coming weeks. We might have some really exuberant performance in coming weeks. I will tell you, the market's going to be really fun in the next couple of months. We've got some major events coming up that I think are going to drive major activity in the market. And here's one other freebie for you, if you're interested. You know, you click on that link, optionsmoneymaker.com/investor. The other thing is, if you want to participate in the live trading room and you want to get ready for next week being in our live trading room, you can listen to the training. This is the training that we provided to our entire community on the adaptive entry system. You can do all of the training so you can come into the live trading room knowledgeable and aware, and then you can feel free to ask us questions. We're happy to help you as much as we can. So once again, the link that you would click on The web address, just key in www.optionsmoneymaker.com/investor, and that will get you to this page. I just wanted you to see what the page would look like, and then you just click register here. That'll get you registered for the live trading room for next week, and then you can click here and you can listen to any of the daily updates that we do at the end of the day. I pride myself and our team in being a fully transparent environment. We're not trying to sell you something unless it's right for you, but we do present to you the science of the market metrics that we believe work extremely well, and the math of how to build a personal trading plan and view it as a business, treat it as a business, and every single day, if you knew that your goal was to make 35 points today, because that's your run rate, if you hit 35 points in the first hour of the market, you might say, I'm done for the day. I know the definition today of when is enough, and then I go off and do something else. If you hit your goal on a daily basis, that's all you need to do in order to stay on path towards that specific projected income over the course of a 12-month period. So I really appreciate you all spending time with me here today. I want to see if I can answer some of your questions here. Larry's asking, does it work with tick charts? So we have not done a lot of work with tick charts using the adaptive entry system. We are in the process, we're always in a state of some real-time evaluation of other ways to strengthen or modify the whole system. And tick charts is a discussion that we've had, but we have not yet, I can't honestly say that we've done enough work yet, Larry, to say it will, it's something that you could focus on. Will it run on TradeStation? If not, which platform? So the adaptive entry system is actually built on the TradingView platform. You have to have a TradingView subscription, which is minimal, and it's built on the TradingView platform. It's very, very easy to use. We love the features on TradingView. We have some thoughts and discussions underway about possibly developing it for other platforms, but right now it is exclusive to having a TradingView subscription, having a data feed through TradingView. The TradingView subscription, including the data feed, I think is somewhere around $20 a month. It's not really a big deal. And then we give you authorization to access the private scripts for the adaptive entry system. Larry's asking, what is your risk metric for a trade in NQ? So in the current environment, Larry, and it's not consistent necessarily, we evaluate it depending on market conditions. Our current goal right now is a 10-point profit for each position, and our risk metric is a 20-point stop. So if we saw the trade move against us by 20 points, then the trade is taken off and we have a loss. We also, especially in the last few weeks, what we've seen is some nice movements, but they're very sporadic, jumpy movements. So what we've been doing on the way to our 10-point profit target, we've been locking in 5 points. So we manually, as a futures trade, lock in 5 points. And what we do by doing so is we immediately shift from a 20-point potential stop out loss to doing no worse than a 5-point profit. And if I were to show you the detail here again, look at all these trades. Here's a 5-pointer, here was a 10-pointer, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. All of these are ones that likely could have pulled back against us and provided somewhat of a loss for us, but we were in tune with the trade and in tune with what the market was doing, and we were able to take those off for 5 points of profit. And I mean, look at how they add up. Taking all those 5-pointers and a few 10-pointers and then a few 20-point losses, we ended up on all signals 77 and a quarter points for the day. You know, $1,500 for the day. I think that that's pretty outstanding. Let's see here. Let me expand the window a little bit here. Questions are kind of jumping around. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna try to take as many questions as I can here. Larry, there is a link that's going out tomorrow. I believe it's going out tomorrow that has a recording in it. If you're using a 5-minute chart, how do you take 20 to 40 trades in a 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. day? Because we are taking the trades off of a 5-minute chart, and any 5-minute signal can give us a trade. So, you know, in every hour, there are 12 5-minute signals, and any one of those 5-minute signals could offer a trade for us. What SL for one contract for NQ? I don't know what SL is. I'm not sure. Trader is asking question, what SL? Okay, you see what I'm talking about, Larry. You did the math. Does your system give a pre-alert when trades are setting up, i.e. advance notice of a pending trade? It's not an advance notice of a pending trade, but embedded in the software is a alert. I actually labeled it a wake-up alert that tells you 30 seconds in advance of the next 5-minute bar. So if you're trading off of a 5-minute chart and you're checking emails or you're in a conversation, this little ding-a-ling goes off and says you should refocus your attention and see what happens on the next 5-minute bar. And there are some ways that you will start to recognize the lower indicators that I didn't talk about when they might be setting up. You also know that if you have, say, one blue bar, you ought to be paying attention, because if the next bar opens blue, you know you're going to be going long. If you have one red bar, and you want to be paying attention because you know that the next red bar, if the next bar opens red, there's going to be going short. So there are some clues when you get comfortable with your understanding of the system. There's a few questions about here about a recording. Yes, there is a recording going out. Well, I agree with that, Larry. I used to actually run a delivery service, but if my driver gets in an accident one day every week, I'd fire him. Yeah, so I was just correlating to, you're always going to have in any small business some type of drawdown, some type of unexpected expense. In our case, it's a loss. It might be a losing trade. It might be a losing day. And I think that the personal trading plan helps you overcome that. Perry, we don't have auto trading service, but we are actually in the process of discussing possibly putting something together. So I actually think you're, I think you could do this, Perry. We have a lot of people in our community that I think are right there with the way you're describing yourself, and they do quite well. Yeah, there is a recording of this that's going to be coming out. I believe it's tomorrow. Appreciate the comments. People are saying great presentation and very informative. Yes, thank you for that. I would start, anybody who's interested in looking into this more, start at optionsmoneymaker.com/investor, and you can explore the education video, which teaches you literally how to trade the adaptive entry system. It gives you access to the daily updates that are the recordings. So that's a good starting point. Do you have a version for NinjaTrader? No, it's all exclusively available on TradingView right now. We have customers, clients around the globe. Um, so as long as you can trade the U.S. markets, um, you have a broker, you can log in and sign into our live trading room, follow right along with us, and you can certainly use the software. TJ, when we're trading options, I take a look first of all at the money options, and then I evaluate whether or not that is a amount of capital that I am willing to put at risk. And if that size of that capital is too great, then I move further out on the chain and I might go to like a 40 delta or a 30 delta or even down to a 20 delta. Listen, when the big volatility kicked in back in February and early March, we were actually trading 12 and 15 deltas on some of the stock options. So it's, lower production of profit per dollar movement of the underlying stock, but it still gets you into the opportunity, and you'd still have to manage what your personal risk tolerance is. You don't need necessarily trading view for next week. Next week is designed, I mean, if you want to sign up, you want to get going with adaptive entry system, there's a way that you can do that, certainly. Right at the bottom of this page, if you're ready to get started, just click here and it'll guide you to signing up for everything. But my thought is, if you come in to the live trading room at no cost, no obligation, and you see and observe what we're doing, you've got time then to get yourself set up and you can just kind of follow along with what we're doing. Now, what is included when someone goes into this? Well, there's a couple different levels. The live trading room, you have to decide if you want to participate in that. It's not required. The adaptive entry system is a subscription, and then the personal trading plan is just a one-time cost, one-time download. So it's actually pretty uh, it's actually pretty favorable as a small business owner when you look at the investment cost versus the return on that investment. Paul's asking, what was the system you were using before you developed the system? So this is the second generation of the um, software. We were using the first generation, which was called the Profit Flow Analytics, and the adaptive entry system builds on Profit Flow Analytics. Profit Flow Analytics is still all built in the underlying. It's like computer software. You get version 1, and then you get the next version, which builds on the original version and adds more bells and whistles, and that's what we were doing. Could you repeat your favorite indicators? The indicators, there are only 4 indicators that we're using within the adaptive entry system, and it is the trend bias signal, the continuation signal, the consensus signal, and then the momentum signal. I see that you're asking what the indicators are that are below the price bar. We won't get into a lot of that here. We can talk about that in the live trading room if you want to join us. But these, this is called the Cycle Finder Plus, which is part of the adaptive entry system. We use that for some other opportunities. This is just a standard. This is not our proprietary. This is just the standard awesome oscillator that was created by Bill Williams. And then we have 3 indicators that are all part of the original profit flow analytics system that the adaptive entry system was built on. What is the stop loss for one contract for ES? ES is typically, I don't trade ES as much, so you've got to gain some experience level for yourself. But ES, where NQ is $20 a point, ES is $50 a point, I would typically be looking at somewhere around, I would typically be looking probably around 4 points. But I don't trade it as much, So don't take that to your personal trading. You've got to gain some experience rate with it and determine what you're most comfortable with. The software, TradingView does work on a mobile device, yes. Does TradingView work with E-Trade? They're two different systems. TradingView is the foundation which the adaptive entry system is built on. When 20-point stop loss is hit, could manually move our stop loss? Yes, but you're going to be taken out of the trade if it hits your 20-point stop. You can set your protective stop at whatever you choose. It doesn't have to be 20. What we have been using as our default is 20-point stop loss and 10-point profit target. We have people in our room that use 30-point protective stops, and they have a much wider profit target, but their overall performance and their win-loss ratio is lower, but their point production and profit production might be the same or greater than ours. But you need to wade your way through a lot of losing trades in order for that to work out. So the optimum, kind of the sweet spot for me, is 20-point stop loss, 10-point profit target, lock in 5 points when we can, and then move on to the next trade. Rob, TradingView Pro, yes, but for another couple of bucks, TradingView Pro Plus might be the better option, and then the data feed is actually pretty cheap too. You'd need the data feed. Larry, if you want to shoot us an email, dorothy@optionsmoneymaker.com, you can inquire about that. Can trading be done in retirement IRA accounts? That's a great question for your broker, who will understand more about the specifics of your IRA account and what type of trading you can and cannot use. The broker that we use for futures trading is Infinity Futures. Infinity Futures. I love Infinity Futures. They make it very, very easy to trade futures. And then I use E-Trade for options trading. The free offer for the live trading room is designed to be next week, but you can email us if you have a conflict. Our mission really is to give you an opportunity to see and observe and see whether or not it's right for you. I really don't have any interest in putting you into something that doesn't work for your own trading, but I do want you to think about trading as a business, trading as a small business. You are a business owner, and if you treat it that way, you've got expenses in your business. You're going to have expenses possibly to be part of our live trading room, expenses for the adaptive entry system, and for the personal trading plan. You might have some education expenses. I guarantee you the expenses are not very much compared to, you know, a $350,000 or even a $250,000 income forecast over the course of 12 months, starting with $5,000. All right, folks, that is all the questions I see. So let me close out with this and just simply say, you guys are an awesome group. I sincerely appreciate you being willing to invest part of your time in hearing what I have to say. And for that investment, I'm willing to offer you a deal to come in and observe all of this. I've given you a summary in a very short period of time, but I want you to see it in real time. And if you see it in real time through the course of 5 trading days, I think you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I guarantee there will be some of you that will say that's great, but it's not right for me. But those of you who would like to have an opportunity to turn 5,000 into something much bigger in a very systematic, programmed approach, I think that you'll see why. I think this is a pretty phenomenal system. TJ is asking, I'm going to give TJ the last question here. Do you think that day trading is actually safer in these volatile times? I will tell you that right now, TJ, and probably for the next few months, I'm sticking primarily to futures trading. And it's because we don't carry any futures trades overnight. We are in and out of the trades. Literally, sometimes we are in and out of the trades in a matter of 15 to 30 seconds. Some of the trades last a couple of hours, but we are done at the end of the day. Whatever our outcome is that day, we're done. There is no overnight worry about some news, some big event, some tweet, something that could rally or depress the market, and I'm on the wrong side of that with an options trade. So for now, what we're doing is we are harvesting the best possible profits we can using the adaptive entry system, and we're doing it with futures, and I'm primarily trading NASDAQ 100 futures, but you can use whatever you want. We have people in our group that trade gold, we have people that trade oil, ES, and the Russell 2000 futures. I'm focused primarily on the NASDAQ 100 futures. I think that right now, with the potential for volatility overnight, that's where I want to be. I actually don't want to be holding anything. I will just resume my trades in the morning once the market opens again. Well, Perry, I'll leave that up to you and them, but whatever they did charge you, I'm going to just tell you, it's a nit compared to what I think you could potentially make here. We trade from 8:45 a.m. The live trading room is open from 8:45 a.m. Eastern time to about 3:30 to 4 p.m. Eastern, depending on what's going on. Some days we'll close at 3:30, other days we'll hold right up until 4 o'clock Eastern time. Okay, folks, thank you again. Sincerely appreciate it. Look forward to the recording coming out, and I hope to see many of you in our live trading room next week.